So I have a confession to make. I wrote a letter to my penis. That's exactly right. You heard me say that correctly. I wrote a letter to my penis. And I'll explain more on the other side. Hi, I'm Scott Schwartley, and I'm the founder of Coel, a guided audio intimacy app for couples. So if you find yourself in predictable, boring routines, maybe you're relying on the same moves, the same techniques, check out Coel. Again, it's a guided audio intimacy app, and its core reason for existence is to help you break out of those boring routines with your partner. So definitely, or yourself, if you want to do that as well. But it does exist to help, again, break some of that monotony. All right, so today what I want to do is let's go back to the top here. I want to talk about why I wrote a letter to my penis. And I never imagined I would. I'm 47 years old at the time of this recording. This idea has never crossed my mind until just a few days ago. So hat tip to Natalie over at Tantra for the Soul. Love her content. I've been consuming it quite a bit over the last few days, and this idea of writing a letter to your penis is something that she mentioned just in passing in one of her videos. And so as I kind of sat with it and slept on it, I'm like, actually, you know what? I really like this idea, and so I'm gonna do it. And so just a couple days ago, I sat down, took about maybe 20-30 minutes, and just did some reflecting on if I was to write a letter to my penis, what would I say? And this entire journey, this process, was actually very healing for me. And not only was it healing, but it allowed me to sort of connect with myself. Now, something to note here is, obviously with creating an app like Coel, I'm heavily invested in not only the intimacy space, but also just personal growth as it relates to sexuality and intimacy. In fact, actually just hired a somatic coach a couple weeks ago and going through that process. But I'm obsessed with trying to grow and get better and be more connected to myself, particularly again in this realm of sexuality and intimacy and all that. So going through this exercise of writing a letter to my penis kind of fit right right where I am right now as far as my mindset and sort of what I'm wanting to do with my life, and again, just getting more connected to myself. So as I went through this exercise, as I mentioned, I found it very healing, and I found it very sort of therapeutic. And so what I did is I thought, well, if I'm gonna write a letter to my penis, what would I actually want to include? What would I want to talk to it about? And so the first things that came to me are just really thoughts of gratitude and thankfulness. That, being on this earth now in my mid-40s, there have been a lot of adventures that my penis and I have gone through together, right? So from the first discovery of what it could do to obviously my teenage years, young adult years, and so forth, different partners. Now I'm married, have kids, so it's brought me my kids. It's created a very fantastic, intimate life with my spouse. Obviously, all the things I did as a teenager and young adult, lots of memories, right? Lots of things to be thankful for. And kind of the beautiful thing in all that is it has showed up for me every single time, and has never disappointed me in that regard. So again, lots to be thankful for, lots to be lots that can kind of fit in that realm of just pure gratitude. And that's exactly what I did. So as I started thinking about what would I write, what would I communicate to my penis, it really, I would say majority of my letter really stemmed from this place of thankfulness and gratitude. Because one day it may not work for me, and knock on wood, I'm not struggling with ED right now, and again, somebody in my mid to late 40s, it could be something that is on the horizon here. So I'm just thankful for every day that it shows up for me. And so by doing this, it's allowing me to be more connected to my body, because at the end of the day, the quality of your connection with your spouse, the quality of your intimacy with them is really dependent a lot on kind of what you bring to the table. So if you're not connected to yourself, if you're not dialed in, then that's going to make it harder for you to be more present with your partner. And so by going through this exercise, it wasn't like a absolute game changer, but it was a nice productive step in getting more connected to myself. All right, so for all you men out there, for all you penis owners, what I would suggest is carve out some time, be thankful for your penis, write a letter to it, And you may also find that this exercise is very healing, and if it's not healing, if it's not therapeutic, then at least it gives you a heightened sense of self-awareness, and it'll just, it'll again allow you to be more connected to yourself. Right, if you've enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. Again, if you're looking to break up the monotony, if you're wanting to get out of predictable routines in the bedroom, then definitely check out Coel, and hopefully something like guided audio intimacy. Hopefully you're gonna find it to be a game changer for you and your partner. All right, thanks so much. And remember this, intimacy is not automatic, it's guided.